I lost my voice this week. Bear with me, please. I promise I feel worse than it may sound. I've been writing a lot of short poems that I think of as split sonnets. That is 7 lines with a wink and a nod to an iambic pentameter. And I had the privilege of performing at Leopoldo's series in C&P back in April. And these are those that I've written since. This project, the working title is Party Favors, and I have them to give away because party favors, but also because if you don't read them for yourself, you're going to miss some head-snapping line breaks. Party favors, split sonnets. Help wanted, night in rhyming ardor seeks, and in seeking to attach. Match. Now, where were we? In a poem or something more important? We conjure survival ideas, pay sensitive attention. Let each who is without a singular perspective cast the first platitude. He, she, they knows who he, she, they is are. I'm itching to risk some willing minstrelsy when it comes to those who look like me. Preparations, duh. All people are capable of heinous behavior, most often for power, sometimes for sport, and share a penchant for overcorrection. Even so, the scapegoat is never actually the one at fault. Remember? Make a point of often questioning the young, the old, the in-between, a chorus of pristine perspectives, necessarily not one's own. Be seen if you need, but seek to see what others take for granted, or imagine, or who knows. That's the point. The daring. Inhabit the task, embody earnestly, ask with that fallen larynx. A mentor once told us to reconsider using angel, sweet, heart, desire, and dark. She'd read a lot. She knew enough. Angels were dead in 75, she said. Now, hear me out. Don't take her wryness for weakness. She had no small power in our little world, but still might. And don't get me wrong, she was right. It's all fiction, folks. Put a pin in that. Every intersubjective tale we co-believe, each dollar bill, y'all, all the nations, all the gods, live only in the space we hold in common. Trauma, drama, matter, words, stone tools, agriculture, Hawktua. Let's write ourselves a better fate. Let's get our stories straight. Life's a beach these days. The sharks largely ignore us in the waves. Everything's for sale. Dissolved salt saturates the breezy ease with being pleased that presses to be felt. Monkey see, monkey do, almost regardless. Stone grinds on, all awash in sticky grit, even the bribes basking freely in the sun. A secondary gloom ensues, in tune but with a dissonance imbued. Whatever feels personal is both legit and especially foolish to expect the world or anyone in it to care about. Hell, I'll grant that it's political too, but if you think that just being right means you can set a broken bone, brace yourself. Play speed chess with insomnia. Tenderize the night, tough as tenterhooks. Of those who do not mean their metaphors, beware. We are just the surface tension of our myths. Don't fake it for any reason whatsoever, no matter who makes it. Ash to bone, to each one's own, dance with circumstance alone. Low expectations do a body good. Should disappointment insurance seem appealing, check your head. Zoom out, dude. Remove the ceiling. The sky's a pretty unambitious limit. Vain suffering pervades like microwaves from the cosmic horizon to the face turning its cheek to the hand with two backs. Good luck finding a sentimental millennial at the semi-quincentennial. The house wins, of course, but you should be fine with that big stack of chips on your shoulder. How does one love a nation anyway? Whatever. This too shall pass muster. DJ, take us eons deep, all in this together, maladjusted. Sapiophiles prefer a think piece, but will settle for a side piece. We're easily duped, evolved to see the next thing, big or new or otherwise, even through another's eyes. It's how we bond. It's how we're calmed. What's more, disordered romance is embedded in performance. Know your role. This next executive order directs NASA to establish a Department of Astrological Research immediately and without regard to anything with respect to anyone. Rising tides won't lift a sunken wreck. Mercurial headlines keep the bleeping people guessing. Countdown. Let's go retrograde. Sign here. Hey, men. Nothing wrong with us, and let's be honest, there's a lot, lies beyond the reach of what's right with us to remedy. No one is the enemy in a habitat we share. Space, time, air. One moon scoffs down at all of us, zero to her debonair. Things suck no matter what. Shall we fail trying? Amen. Wheat grows rampant all around the world, expressly lazy in the wind, under the sun, while most humans dwell in boxes. Dogs deploy another upper hand. Antics and ticks bred and threaded through both them and our own trained selves and cultures too. Me, you, 1,000 generations of our kind. Fine, a confessional. I once pushed my best friend into a pile of skunk dung. I succumbed to the lure of what I was taught to call evil, and for a split second felt a glee too deep. To stick a jest in the juncture is just a junk gesture. Yet one still might. If something's not wrong here, well, that's not right. Who among us chose to be alive? Whatever circumstances here and now. Two beasts smashed, most likely, perhaps by choice. And just like that, a slow-growing self, embodied in a geometric manifold of scales so large and small, we ache to fathom, weep. At best, some beauty staring blankly, maybe. A cowardice cowers in this cheap mood, this purple state. And it's deep, too, hung like a gooey duck. Who's got time to half-ass passion? Listen in. Note what all grows in an otherwise vacant echo chamber. With just the one swing at this dumb fling, sing the unsung thing. Join me. Thank you.
And thank you to Leopoldo. Poetry Bridge last November was my first time doing an open mic at CMP, and I am really excited to be here and doing my first more than 5 minutes speaking poetry out loud to folks. So thanks everyone for being here. I figured I would start with this poem called Ars Poetica, which for those who are not poets, or maybe just you're like, what? It's kind of this, no particular form, but it's asking the question, why do you write poetry? What is poetry to you? So I figured this would be a good introduction to me. Ars Poetica. It's like asking, do you like food? My body knows. My mouth moistens with wafts of warm bread smells, home smells. Choo-choo, and every child opens to the delight of simple pleasures. Recipes are passed to descendants, cross borders. I lick your marrow. I masticate on soul food, gourmet food, fast food, all food is worth trying once. They say with only a bag of vitamins and minerals, a person can survive. I'm not interested in surviving. I crave the flavors that make me moan. That's it. The next couple that I'll do are kind of what Leopoldo mentioned with my experience in tech and just talking about that mindset and also maybe some alternatives and some thoughts on it. And this poem that I'm about to read was the first one that kicked me off on that journey. So this is called Green is My Favorite Color. They say you reap what you sow. Like I haven't been tilling hard work for decades, getting penny produce. Like millionaires don't just grow from daddy's wallets. I blame the dirt, the market, my aching knees. Like it's not the promises whispered, honey-coated half-truths that say just a little longer, a little more sweat to get that green. I wander the emerald green forests, ferns, fiddleheads uncurling, pine needles and fir trees ever growing, flat blue water on the horizon beckoning. I look at you, a diamond that can't be sold for money anymore, and without money deemed worthless by the rulers of this land, of the beautiful, of free market capitalism. When will our worth not be determined by what we produce? I learned early the more I achieved, the more love I received. The opposite of accomplishment was disappointment. I did not think I was beautiful or free, like the birds I watched green-eyed, flighty and chittering and just out of reach. It wasn't until I heard words like burnout or mental health or she died last night. Did you know? When can I stop working? I ask, but the answer is never enough for a heart that can stop beating tomorrow. My body is connected to this land through gravity and history and carbon cycles. This richness is not mine or ours, and yet it provides what we need. The oxygen you take is looking for you. This land gives it freely, deems you worthy. Strip away the green paper to see yourself in the trees. See yourself in the trees, beautiful and free. This is called I'm Sick of Work. I think you'll get it. Sick of another new manager and yearly 3-year plans, of big rooms and lawn tables and seats awkwardly warm. I'm sick of sham smiles, of getting sick from it's just allergies, of sports talk and how about them Bears, how I'll keep skipping breakfast and lunch and sunlight and just one more meeting. I'm sick of mandatory trainings I pay half attention to, and each year I answer, what should Susan do? And Susan always reports the phishing scam, discloses her conflict of interest, doesn't hug her coworkers. I'm sick of fearing the color red, blood red circles and question marks, emails flagged scarlet and urgent, a feverish blush creeping up my cheeks as I present, the unsolicited feedback, assessments of who gets passed over for not producing the best impression, how existence is evaluated by badge swipes and green dots. I'm sick of the exhaustion that sets in at 3, the Sunday night scaries and sleep meds. Just a little longer, one more promotion, one more assignment. I'm sick of thinking that's all it is. Thanks. Never know what to clap or not, I don't know. This one is called Bodies and Borders. Bodies have borders of skin. Skin is made up of atoms. Atoms exist everywhere. Everywhere are bodies. Body as border to our mind a precious resource. Resources are extracted, sold to millionaires. Millionaires mine my body. Shh, listen to the body. The body speaks truths. Truths are often hidden from ourselves saying shh. Alone, this part of my back holds upright my entire being. My entire being yearns to touch, to not be alone. Gravity of hand upon my chest a universe of fears. Fear is how I'm kept contained. Container, my own gravity. And then I'll shift a little bit into one of my favorite body poems, since that was bodies. Here is Body as a River Channel. I am most beautiful, seamless. Take off the clothes, the dyed husks. This is no categorized fruit shape, an apple or pear. I see a river barely contained. What is a hip, if not an undulation? Let us create lines where there lies no such rigidity, no stiffness here, only soft curves, belly becoming breasts, neck flowing to shoulder. How can this form be divided into top and bottom, into small and medium, and no, we don't carry that size? Look, in the mirror, I am unbroken. And these next couple that I'll read are from my chapbook, If Hands Were Distributaries. Oh no, someday it'll be out there, I swear. Thanks. And yes, this gets more into probably childhood things, and yeah, you'll find out why I don't like water. So this one's called Water Damage, or Why I Have an Obsession with Water. A drop of water, impossibly with arms and feet, smiling, a wave, an old school doctor's headband, the slick custom logo clinging to my father's white box of a work truck. He would take me to other people's homes, testing their water to be cleaned, fixed, used. Just a quick one, and there I was again, feet treading air in that too big passenger seat. Wednesdays and every other weekend, past the polluted lake, past the pocked gray concrete, smoky gray clouds on gunmetal gray water. I brought the test kit, the lightest thing in the van, the only thing I could carry. It was a business he created. It could have been a family affair. Even my mother's family spent their life drilling wells. I've been running from water my whole life. He steps into my house for the first time, reaches for the faucet. Good water pressure. A beautiful sound stretches minutes from my home, framed by mountains with always snowy peaks. I walk alongside it, smiling. Water my father has not touched. And then this next one is called Safety Warning for a Young Electrical Engineer. Water and electricity are a dangerous combination. Correction, the ions in water are where perils arise. As water journeys through snaking metal pipes, collecting iron and zinc, rotten egg reek of sulfates, as glittering crystals of salt multiply conductivity by the millions. Power is the product of voltage and current. Or another way, power is equal to current squared times resistance. One can measure resistance with a device similar to what TV villains use, two probes placed on opposing ends of an entity. The imaginary evildoer hooks up our hero with facial sensors and sends shockwaves or sleep or memories through them. Here, the multimeter sends a small current through black and red probes. Numerical resistance is displayed on a screen. Resistance is not a bad thing. Current, struggling through the small coils of a toaster, generates heat to toast bread. Thin, high-resistant filaments within incandescent bulbs produce light. A highly resistant body protects against electric shock. Wet skin lowers the body's resistance and allows more current to pass through. This can lead to muscle spasms, heart problems. A trace of water can prove fatal with high voltages. And then this next one is also from the same chapbook, but I thought would be nice because yesterday it was very rainy. So this is called Rain Bath. It starts as radio static, a light tapping. On the window screen, the water materializes, appears as sudden jagged lines. And oh, how the sound swells, like a cluster of starlings, soaring, coming together, drifting apart, their murmuration as audible surging of this vertical wave deluge. Outside the window, streaks forming bigger drops, coalescing. My unattended chores become blurs. The lawn untrimmed, blackberry vines greedily grasping the fence, dark brown piles of dog left behinds becoming med pies. Let the rain come anyway. Let it soak, dance on the roof, surround me. Let it remind me I am not alone. I've got two left and they're short. This next one is called, and I'm ending a little bit more hopeful, To the Beach. When hope is hard to find, I begin like I've got all the answers. I sever words from newspaper clippings, discover, play, community, and to the beach. I've heard dogs reduce stress, and yes, my man's best friend's fur feels soft in my fingers like pleasant memories. Later, we go to crashing sea foam, the ocean sky stretching up and over and past. I admit the vastness makes me forget some things, but it's seeing my dog's hungry ears erect, eyes roving the whitecaps, her tail a waving squirrel. It is her playful run she breaks into that shatters my still body into joy. And this last one is quite short. It's called End and Begin. Ends don't exist on a sphere. A sphere is another word for you. You can decide how it ends. Thank you.
So I like to arrange my poems in a way that they flow and they all tie together. So if you're listening to the story behind them, then you'll know, well, be able to appreciate what I'm trying to communicate. First, I would like to dedicate or read this poem by our dear friend Thomas Howard, who passed away a year or two ago. This is one of his chapbooks. Indians, sounds like Indians, right? Indians. He asked me to translate one of his works, and I could never get around it because at that time I was working and it was just too much work. But in honor of Thomas Hubbard, grandfather cedar. When a cedar calls out to me in passing, I approach, ask permission, and if it seems agreeable, if the tree offers, I cut a fragrant branch for underneath my bed, so fresh odors can whisper night dreams, reminding me how it used to be. And there are a lot of things that we're remembering how things used to be because everything's changing around us. Inancing, madre, mother, for Doña Elena, my mama. One womb, two sons, three daughters, 4 seasons, 73 sunrises, 72 sunsets, many days of loving, teaching, guiding. The best cook in the world, along with Dad, working hard, restaurant they owned. Dad's illness took him away first. Mom held the sails high, our sinking boat didn't drown, but kept afloat. Destiny, cruel, sometimes gentle. One day the wind changed direction. My weather vane and compass also changed. Only way out, north, I came. From here, I remember the one whose womb like good soil gave us life. Although the landscape is treacherous, it must be walked. The path is long. I raised the torch lit by the spark Mom and Dad gave me. Thank you both for giving me light, thunder, and fire. Next, Sinteotl. This is a Nahuatl word that is in reference to the goddess of young corn. And just like in other culture, everything has a significance and a representation. God of corn grown from earth, rain, and sun, kernels boiled, nixtamal, grinding corn into dough, kneading, amasando, smoothing the dough. Her soft hands soften the masa, grabbing a handful, left hand to right hand, begin to clap, 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 from one damp hand to the other. Her fingers stiff with the slightest cup and spring to the palm, clap and turn, laid on the comal, flipped over to cook the other side. Aroma of fresh tortillas, fragrant and moist, my mother's hands cooked, her spirit evoked. When I cook, remembering the sound of her hands, clap and turn, making tortillas, homegrown corn from earth, rain, and sun. Keeping on mother's garden, she loved gardening. All her flowers, she talked to her flowers when they were withering or they didn't look. She would go and say, "Come on, little mijita, my little daughter, come on, what's going on? You're so beautiful. Yeah, it's all right. I'll give you more water." The next morning, the flowers were all spring up, all fresh. Mother's garden. When I smell fresh cut grass, mother's memory comes to mind. I can see Mom walking along the cobblestone path below the fig and jacaranda trees. She early tended to her garden, talked to the flowers, whose ponderous voice silently harnessed uncanny message. She dug her hands in damp soft soil to plant seeds and bulbs to grow, to blossom under the sky, rain and sun. Fresh grass cut, fragrant memory to soothe my soul. Dear Papi, in memory of Don Victor Sanchez Hernandez, 1924-1967, my father. I've been meaning to write you a letter, but wasn't sure where to send it. It's been 52 years since you've been away from this world. I miss you. I have been missing you for a long time. The lessons you taught me during my infancy are well kept and cherished. They have been my support and have given me the strength necessary to live and share my life with others. There are many things I want to share with you. Some of them I am very proud of, others not so much. Life can bring many pleasant and unpleasant situations. You know all about that. I just want to touch base with you today, which is the day when the world and my heart begin to miss your touch, your words, and your teachings. But I will be waiting for your visit on November 2nd. You know, the day, that day is a very special day. You know what that day is? The Day of the Dead. Next, Ode to an Old Typewriter. Last night I dug it up from the basement low. Dad's old typewriter, as I've done before. Although tired and lonely under fine dust, rusted out from all the letters written before. It was long ago when my father returned from that land up north. He heard of Italian typewriting machines Olivetti, Underwood, invented. I began to strike the keytops, but the ribbon spool was loose. Then the typewriters jammed. Letter in deep dark black ink after the platen, and the feed roller gummed up in the gleam of night. Slowly, I began to type familiar sound, clack, 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 ding. The light of day will see the letters fly. I just hope the ribbon will hold, for the ropes within each clack, 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 and ding, ring, swish, and fly through the right, the platen to the left. A new line will pour out of dusty keys, tap, tap, tap. Sometimes even type black ink on paper white. Only the typewriter knows how hard it is to touch the keys that once did. The same keys I strike while wiping tears from my eyes. In reference to the Day of the Dead, it's titled Dissolved. I need some water. Release. Can you open it? Okay. Dissolved. Are you all familiar with the Day of the Dead celebrations? Okay. Yeah, right. Good. You're all my people. Dissolved. I held my breath when I heard you were dead, never coming back to visit, to hang around. At night, the blinking lights show strange shadows, things only they disappeared know where they are. Your ashes are now in the water, the river. Ganga Mai dissolved, merged, disintegrated. If blood could speak, it would yell a shriek. It will tell your story, our story, stored in your wrists, ribs, where every punch you received is marked by a scar, and the tattoos on your tender skin punctured, marked. My breath, your ashes rest in the bottom of the reservoir, deep where they will remain until the river slowly runs dry. And I'd like to use that form because it's a scaling form and I know where to use the volume of my voice when to stop. Some practice. Next. And that's what happens. In India, people go, when people die there, and I've seen it, I've been there, go to the burning ghats and you see the fire flames and they put camphor in the mouth of the dead body so it looks like it's shooting the fire out. And until everything is dissolved, when everything is burned, they just shove everything into the river and they have several burning bodies burning at the same time. It's very interesting to see and appreciate that, you know, life is very important. And what we share and do amongst us is even more important. Therefore, the brown angels at work. Brown angels are everywhere. We observe them mowing lawns, raking, blowing leaves, dangling from tall buildings, washing windows, painting, roofing houses. They are in your kitchens, serving, smiling. They park your cars out in all kinds of weather. Watch them picking fruits and vegetables, breaking their backs. On freeway ramps, we witness them selling flowers, cherries, and strawberries. Brown angels are attending church, going to night school, college, bound. These angels don't fly. They walk the same sun-baked earth that you and I do, sowing seeds of prosperity deep down in this American soil. This economy's wheels turn on the axles of immigrant sweat. Brown angels sweat. Lately, the wheels are stuck, have been stuck in intimidation's mud, discrimination's muck. If brown angels could fly, hover over fertile fields and cities of this American land, they would perform miracles. About this poem, Gretchen Janover, she's an artist, she's a bass player. Her last recording release is a CD that has music that she composed from poems that she read from the poets that she liked, and she included me there, and she created a song for this poem. So I had to perform it and read it along with her, and it was just a beautiful scene at the Langston Hughes. The CD is out there if you are, I don't have it with me, but that's her. Gretchen Janover, Yanover. So, and there's another project, not with her, but with another artist coming up soon. Try to stay away from politics is sometimes impossible, but we just have to write it because we don't witness, what we have burning, we're not doing justice to ourselves. Birth of a Tyrant. I want to write a poem to resemble a universal picket sign, a sign that will show all the catastrophes and blasphemies written on the pages of history. Many nations wrapped and trapped in a global war, while freedom failed, wrapped in that cigar smoke lingering in the nose of those crippled, starving bodies, shackled in their amnesia, waiting to die, and the mushroom cloud of the whole world at war filling their violent feastings, panhandling perverted idealism of the cleansed humanity that never was. We pray to be surrounded by the golden gleam. Peace! Humans love to breathe the air of freedom. The news. Yesterday's news turned to trash. Crooked scriptures, congregations surrounded by mirages of grandeur, perverted reflections, voices of water tumbling pillars, language of pieces never reached, the untouchables, ghosts moving forward on dusty corners. Faith, you ask? Faith in the bag, the unknown. Faith in the bag, the unknown. Divinity is not divine. Darkness will swallow us one by one. By your crystals, invoke the one, because vanished. In the dark night, evil grows, confusion, tendrils creep up, intimidating immigrant folk, signed release on command, not knowing it was a trap, a lie by the deceitful states of America. Innocent young men sent to Salvadorian jails. Hate is the motive, revenge is the aim, removal is the goal. The Constitution twisted like Gumby. Someone please tell the lady of the harbor her touch has been off since November 5th, 2024. Inauguration Day, Doomsday for the America we knew. But we can stitch the world, stitching the world. Hopes and dreams crumble. Others, ravaged by floods, alone they wait hopelessly. This world does not forget human cruelty, racial discrimination, gentrification, nationalization, dehumanization, poverty, the hollowness consumes our hearts. We wish the ills of the world will slither away, showed in the dark place where darkness becomes light, where bugs, leaves, and lilies tell poetic stories to the wind, and the hum of the hummingbirds distract the butterflies, and bees from buzzing. Every song is just a thimble, like a needle moving on the cloth pattern of life, creating the next stitch, one at a time. Wisdom seekers. You know those big black bears out there? Guardians of mystery, wisdom and the unknown. Apollo knows why ravens are black. Wisdom to some, bad omen to others. Enigmatic ravens gleefully descend from maple, birch, and madrone trees. They swirl below the clouds of the downdraft, spread wings fully one by one. They perch on the tallest boulder. 4 ravens guarding 4 directions, stealthy birds warning and guarding humans from warfare, infamy, life, and death. Black beady eyes of a universe, black beady eyes, a universe of its own. Ravens' mysticism lives in the coast Salish people, for they believe the raven is the creator of man. Guiding birds catch the wind away from bouncing boughs, hemlock, cedar, and pine. 2 ravens in flight, a rhythmic dance below the evening-laden sky. Always watching, always on guard. Black feather birds traversing Salish land. Prophets, mystics, warriors, and kings sought the wisdom they hold. One raven appeared in the poet's mind. The raven explained the universe within. The poet screamed, Eureka! Ominous, foreboding his heart, bereft of love, soaked in liquor, his heart stopped. Nevermore, oh, nevermore. How are we doing? Go more? Okay. Remember when we were water? That's the title. And came from a trip to Switzerland. We were touring around there. They took us into an inside waterfall inside this cave, and it was just awesome. The sound was just really loud, and I just loved it. This poem was longer, but now it's short, and it is what it is, and hopefully it'll be published soon. Remember when we were water, pure, flowing liquid, torrential, loaded, perfect, serene rain, transparent and soluble crystals, swift as lightning in a magical stream where all the ancient stories dissolve. Back then, we created our own light and reflected everything, absolutely everything. Splashed and dissolved, we float on that eternal sleep, spinning and crashing without fear. We twisted effortlessly, descending between rocks and sand. We touched every corner, soaked every rock and pebble, dissolving into each other without haste, and still together emanating the flow of our union. We tasted the nectar of ecstasy as we drowned in that spring of pleasure, dissolved with each other like water. I want to worship. In the first universal church of your being, kneel at your altar and pray for deliverance. Light candles and incense in your private chamber. Open all your divine bows and buttons, all your ethereal hooks and lace, murmuring ethereal psalms. Then your hymnal to wash your sacred feet, anointing your holy flesh with virgin oils, worshiping you from your own Genesis, worshiping your body of God, your holy lands awakened in the inner congregation. Help me to rise and open the sanctified doors of your temple. I'll never be interested in any other religion. It's a love poem, by the way. Okay. One super short and another one even shorter, and that's it. It's a little haibuni. Last night, at around 8:30 Pacific Daylight Time, I went outside to walk the dog. What do I find? A dead, fuzzy bumblebee, stiff as a mummy, tough as a beast. I picked her up by one wing, set her up where I could see the bumblebee that died on my driveway, across from the front yard, as if waiting for me to arrive. And the very last one, because we have to end up in a good mood, in a good way, is half of another poem, Breath. At day's end, we try to remain bright. Speak colorfully, for words are like the clothes we wear them on our tongues. Thank you.